Have you ever truly paused to reflect on what it takes to live a joyful, independent, and meaningful life in your later years? In this video, we'll dive deep into the essentials of healthy aging, focusing on wellness, financial freedom, and a resilient, positive mindset. These pillars aren't just buzzwords, they're the foundation for living the golden years of your life with dignity, joy, and a clear sense of purpose. We're not talking about expensive treatments or complex regimens. Instead, we're uncovering the quiet power of daily choices, the kind that might seem small but carry extraordinary long-term impact. You'll discover realistic tips and insightful perspectives that can help make this stage of life one of the most fulfilling chapters yet. Picture waking up each morning with the strength to move freely, the ability to take care of yourself, and the clarity to enjoy your independence. Imagine what it feels like to truly own your days, living them on your terms, not relying on others, not feeling like a burden, but fully engaged and in control. This is what living well in older age looks like. And it starts with balance. The harmony between physical wellness and mental clarity becomes the cornerstone of healthy aging. Health, after all, isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. It's the best gift we can give ourselves. There's a unique pride in being able to cook your own meals, tidy your home, and even lend a helping hand to your children or grandchildren. These everyday victories remind us that we still have value, still have power, and still have something deeply meaningful to offer. Our ability to stay active physically, mentally, and socially gives us a sense of purpose that's deeply empowering. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. If you're watching this video and any part of this message resonates with you, I'd love for you to let me know. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're still here and finding value in this conversation. And if this video speaks to you, if it encourages, uplifts, or even simply reminds you of what's possible, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Your support genuinely means the world to me. By liking and sharing this video, you're helping me continue to spread valuable insights that can truly make a difference in someone's life. It might be a friend, a neighbor, or even someone you've never met, but your action could help them rediscover their strength and joy in aging. If you enjoyed this topic, drop a 1 in the comments. If it didn't quite land with you, drop a 0 so I can improve and bring you more of what matters most. Let's begin this journey together toward a life of wellness, independence, and meaning, no matter the age. Think about it for a moment. What holds more meaning, enjoying a simple, home-cooked meal you made with your own hands, or relying on others at great cost to your independence? There's a quiet dignity in being able to care for yourself, and a deep peace of mind that comes from knowing you're not a burden to the people you love. You don't need exotic diets or lavish retreats to experience true well-being. The real path to health and happiness is far more accessible, and it starts with nurturing your body through regular movement and, just as importantly, cultivating a calm, grateful heart. As the years pass, our bodies naturally change. That's part of life. But while we may not be able to stop time, we can choose how we live through it. Physical decline doesn't have to dictate the quality of our lives. Holding on to a positive outlook, finding joy in everyday moments, and letting go of old resentments, these are powerful tools. In fact, a joyful heart might just be the most effective medicine we have. When the mind is clear and the spirit is uplifted, the body often follows. Wellness becomes less about appearance and more about how you feel, how you move through your day with purpose and lightness. Aging, then, is no longer something to dread but something to embrace. With wisdom comes freedom. And with freedom comes the opportunity to live each day with intention, peace, and joy. This is your time. You've earned it. A time to shine, to live boldly and independently. With good health, there's nothing holding you back. The secret to a happy, self-sufficient life isn't complicated, and it's right within your reach. The real question is, are you ready to claim it? Let's begin this journey together toward lasting peace and fulfillment in the years ahead. As we grow older, declining health doesn't just affect you, it affects the people closest to us. When we're not well, the weight often falls on our spouse or children. And sometimes, if our children don't fully understand what we need, we may feel unintentionally neglected, leading to an aching sense of isolation that's all too common in later life. But it doesn't have to be that way. More and more, older adults today are rewriting the story of aging. They're embracing retirement not with resignation but with energy and joy, dancing in community parks, hiking scenic trails, traveling with old friends, or finding quiet fulfillment in creative pursuits like painting, gardening, reading, or writing poetry. These aren't just hobbies. They are living proof that vitality is a choice zone that starts with self-care. The best way to preserve this vitality is by committing to happiness, eating well, sleeping soundly, and giving your body the recovery it deserves. These small daily habits become the building blocks of physical resilience. And resilience, in turn, becomes the foundation for a life well lived. You don't need to chase big breakthroughs to feel better. Sometimes, the most profound changes begin with the smallest steps that honor your body, mind, and soul. The journey to vibrant aging isn't out of reach. It's right here, and it's waiting for you. Your body is a treasure that deserves thoughtful care and daily attention. Nurturing your well-being isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility. Keeping your mind open, managing emotions like anger, staying physically active, and maintaining a positive attitude aren't just helpful, they're essential. These habits form the foundation for living independently and with dignity during your golden years. When you make your health a priority, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're giving your loved ones an invaluable gift: peace of mind. The foundation for a joyful, independent life isn't built on material possessions or expensive comforts. It's built on the small, consistent choices you make every day and the mindset you cultivate. A strong body and a calm mind are the pillars of vitality. Regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and a sense of emotional clarity don't just keep you active, they help you stay connected to the people and activities that matter most. Whether it's cooking a favorite meal, running errands, or indulging in a beloved hobby, maintaining your independence adds a deep sense of purpose to your days. In fact, independence itself becomes a quiet but powerful message to your children and grandchildren. It shows them strength, resilience, and grace. When they see your energy and drive, they're not just reassured you become a role model. They'll admire your self-sufficiency and take pride in the life you're continuing to lead with purpose. Embracing these principles doesn't require dramatic changes. Often, it begins with a mindset shift, realizing that a positive attitude is one of the most effective medicines available. By reducing stress and letting go of lingering anger, you create space for peace, joy, and healing to take root. Looking at life with a sense of gratitude and finding pleasure in life's simple moments like a morning walk or a shared laugh can have a profound impact on both your physical and emotional health. A joyful heart and a strong body go hand in hand, and by taking charge of your health today, you're investing in a future that's not just longer, but brighter. As you continue walking through the later chapters of life, mental clarity becomes just as vital as physical health. Have you ever wondered why some older adults fall prey to financial scams or miracle health cures? The truth is painfully simple. Maintaining alertness and critical thinking as we age is essential. Even the wisest among us can become vulnerable, forgetting details, becoming more trusting, or simply not asking the right questions. In moments of distraction or confusion, it's all too easy to be drawn into fraudulent schemes. Whether it's a questionable supplement promising instant results or a financial investment that ends up draining years of savings. What's even more concerning is that, once victimized, many older adults don't realize the full extent of the harm done not just to themselves, but to their families. That's why keeping our minds sharp is just as important as keeping our bodies moving. By staying informed, asking questions, and cultivating awareness, you protect not only your financial future, but your peace of mind. Just as physical health allows you to move freely through the world, mental clarity helps you navigate it wisely. So, remember, your golden years are yours to shape. With conscious care, balanced living, and thoughtful awareness, you can continue living with joy, dignity, and independence. And perhaps most importantly, you'll never stop growing. At 70 and beyond, there may be moments when pretending to forget something seems harmless, maybe to avoid conflict or to gently go along with someone else's wishes. But let's be clear, while a little act might be strategic, actually allowing confusion to take hold is never an option. You must remain fully aware of your surroundings. A sharp mind is one of the strongest forms of protection you have against those who might take advantage of your trust. By staying informed and mentally alert, you can safeguard not only your well-being, but also the safety of your loved ones, keeping both your savings and your health out of harm's way. Today's world is filled with clever schemes, and scams targeting older adults have become more polished, more emotional, and far more deceptive than they once were. Sadly, unethical companies have found ways to manipulate trust and kindness, all under the guise of care and generosity. These bad actors will lure older adults with offers of free gifts, regular check-ins, or customer appreciation events. On the surface, these efforts may feel warm and genuine, but underneath, they're often carefully designed to gather personal details: your health status, your income, your social habits, and your level of trust. And once they have that information, the pressure begins. You might find yourself nudged or even guilted into buying health products you don't need, can't afford, or worse, that could cause harm. Often these are promoted as miracle cures or special offers just for you. In truth, they're nothing more than overpriced gimmicks backed by manipulative tactics. That's why awareness and caution are your best allies. Being alert to your environment and questioning the intentions of strangers who offer unsolicited help is not being rude, it's being smart. Scammers often disguise themselves in the form of free medical screenings, expert consultations, or travel events held far from any real business location. These are traps. Their goal is to create a false sense of security, draw you into a comfort zone, and ultimately lead you to purchases that drain your savings and cause lasting emotional and financial damage. To protect yourself and those you care about, it's vital to stay educated and cautious. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If a service or offer doesn't come with official support or is taking place somewhere off the beaten path, it's worth stepping back and asking questions. Learning about common scams is the first step toward protecting your financial security and peace of mind. But it doesn't stop with you. Sharing what you learn with your friends, family, or community is equally important. The more people are informed and alert, the stronger we all become. Together, we create a network of people who look out for one another, preventing others from falling into the same traps. Remember this simple truth. Sometimes pretending to be a little forgetful can be wise in the moment, but never let that become a habit. Never allow true confusion or vulnerability to take root. Stay clear-minded, stay informed, and protect your health and your future from those who would misuse your trust. Mental clarity is your greatest defense in a world where not everyone has good intentions. Stay sharp, stay aware, and know that your wisdom is your strongest shield. Have you ever truly reflected on the power of financial independence, especially as we grow older? As we enter the later chapters of life, financial freedom becomes more than just a convenience. It becomes a form of dignity. Picture living each day without having to ask your children for money, without that quiet discomfort that often comes with financial dependence. Instead, you're standing on your own, making choices that reflect your values, your needs, and your pace, because you're the one managing your finances, not someone else. Let's be honest. Financial independence in your golden years isn't just about having enough money. It's about maintaining the right to make your own decisions. It's about preserving your sense of self-worth, knowing that you can still contribute to your family, your community, and your own well-being without becoming a burden or living under someone else's timetable. This message isn't just theory, it's life-changing wisdom. Take the story of Mr. Thomas, a retired mail carrier. After years of steady work and saving, he reached his 70s with a modest pension and no debts. He still lives in his own home, pays his own bills, and has the freedom to buy his grandkids small gifts without asking anyone's permission. That's the kind of quiet victory we don't talk about enough. And here's the truth, many seniors have learned the hard way. When you manage your own money, family relationships often improve. You relieve your children of the silent pressure to support you financially, giving them the space to focus on their own lives, their own challenges. You remain someone they admire, not someone they quietly worry about every month. Financial self-sufficiency reinforces self-respect. It reminds you, even in retirement, that you still have something to offer, that you are still in control. And in a world where scams are increasing, where vulnerabilities are easily exploited, having control over your finances is one of the strongest shields you can carry. But this isn't just about numbers. It's about quality of life. Owning your home, for example, adds an extra layer of protection. You're not worrying about being a guest in someone else's space. You're not rearranging your routines to avoid being a bother. You wake up in a space that's truly yours, where every corner reflects your decisions, not someone else's accommodations. And yes, there may be times when the thought crosses your mind. Maybe I should ask my children for help. There's no shame in needing support occasionally. But relying on financial assistance year after year, especially when your children are also juggling debts, mortgages, or job insecurity, can weigh heavily on the relationship. That's why pensions, savings, and smart financial planning are not just practical tools. They are the foundation of peaceful, independent aging. Being informed, staying alert, remaining financially independent. These aren't just strategies, they are empowering choices. They allow you to age with dignity, peace of mind, and a sense of control over your story. You owe it to yourself to stay educated, to protect your health and assets, and to model this wisdom for those who come after you. As the saying goes, it's not scary to have money you can't spend. What's scary is having no financial safety at all. So take charge, plan ahead, and live your later years on your own terms, not anyone else's. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you're running out of time. In fact, you may still have decades ahead of you. That's why being smart about your finances isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Financial planning later in life isn't about hoarding wealth or being overly cautious. It's about ensuring your future peace of mind and preventing money from becoming a source of tension within the family. Financial independence in your later years isn't merely about survival, it's about dignity. It's about protecting your relationships with the people you love by not placing unintended pressure on them. When aging parents can care for themselves financially, they ease the burden on their adult children, who are often navigating their own financial challenges, mortgages, job instability, medical costs, and raising kids. This kind of self-reliance allows you to live without feeling like a burden, which in turn fosters healthier, more respectful connections within the family. Your children are free to visit, love, and care not out of obligation, but out of genuine connection. And if you own your own home, even better. That's one more layer of independence, offering not just shelter, but comfort, autonomy, and personal space, free from the unspoken compromises of living in someone else's household. By managing your personal finances wisely, you're doing more than budgeting, you're safeguarding harmony. You reduce the chances of future arguments, misunderstandings, or resentment born from financial dependence. A home governed by clarity and independence creates a healthier, more loving environment for everyone involved. As you face the natural changes that come with aging, let this be a gentle reminder. Thoughtful financial planning isn't about control. It's about creating a future defined by peace, mutual respect, and emotional security for both you and your loved ones. But financial independence is only part of the equation. Equally important is the ability to maintain open, loving, and conflict-free communication with your children. Ask yourself, why do some older adults have close, nurturing relationships with their kids and grandkids, while others feel distance, frustration, or even rejection? Now imagine there's a way to close that generational gap. The key to transforming those relationships isn't just in what you say, but in how willing you are to adapt and how much empathy you show. Many older adults feel overlooked, especially in conversations. It's not uncommon to be brushed off or met with impatience, particularly if you tend to focus on the past or bring up things that no longer resonate with younger people. It's understandable aging can bring with it a kind of emotional stiffness or fear that limits how we connect. But those who thrive in their relationships, those who remain central, loved, and listened to, are often the ones who've learned how to adjust. They don't just tell stories about the good old days. They meet their children and grandchildren where they are. They listen. They show interest. They bring value not through nostalgia, but through presence and emotional support in the here and now. This kind of adaptability doesn't mean losing who you are. It means evolving. It means recognizing that strong family bonds require effort, empathy, and a willingness to grow. When older adults learn to express warmth, relevance, and understanding, they deepen their roles not just as elders, but as cherished companions in their families' lives. So yes, keep your finances in order. Own your independence. But also remember, the real richness in later life comes from the people who still want to sit beside you, listen to you, and laugh with you, because you've earned your place not through control, but through connection. Take a moment and consider this. Why should your grandchildren treat you with kindness? As the saying goes, all things in life are temporary, including the roles we play. To truly earn trust and maintain independence as we age, we must offer something of value in return. In many cases, emotional support becomes one of the most powerful gifts we can give. When older adults choose to be a source of strength during difficult times, when they choose to listen without judgment, rather than complain or criticize, the emotional climate of the family can shift in profoundly positive ways. By focusing on being a steady emotional presence, instead of dwelling on past grievances, you can help create a more peaceful, supportive family dynamic. Aging isn't just about slowing down, it's about adapting, and above all, connecting with the present. Emotional support doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, simply being there to truly listen during hard moments can make all the difference. A timely word of encouragement or a quiet show of understanding can mean the world to a struggling child or grandchild. These seemingly small acts build something much larger: trust. And with trust comes greater independence and mutual respect. When your children and grandchildren know they can turn to you for calm, wisdom, and emotional grounding, you become more than just grandma or grandpa. You become an anchor. This is where emotional maturity shines. When older adults show appreciation for the challenges the younger generation faces and treat those experiences with respect, they help lay the foundation for deeper bonds that aren't based on obligation, but on mutual care. What we contribute to our relationships in later life isn't measured by how many stories we can tell from the past, but by our ability to be present, loving, and supportive right now. When we embrace this mindset, we enrich our place in the family not just as elders, but as vital contributors to the emotional health of those we love. We become people who are valued not merely because of our age, but because of the stability, compassion, and emotional insight we bring into the home. And that leads us to one of life's greatest treasures: long-lasting relationships. Have you ever stopped to reflect on the true value of a bond that has withstood the test of time, compared to one formed later in life? Imagine, for a moment, a woman named Mary. She's in her early 70s, still full of energy. Every morning, she rides her electric scooter to drop off her grandson at school, then heads to the market, cooks meals, does laundry, tidies the house, and tends to her aging husband. Her days are busy, even exhausting, but when she speaks about her routine, her voice carries unmistakable pride. What fuels that pride? It's more than habit. It reveals a profound connection, a sense of purpose built from decades of shared experiences, challenges, and love. Mary's story is a reminder that deep familial bonds aren't forged overnight. They're cultivated through consistent care, adaptability, and emotional presence. So, if you're still watching this, and you found this message meaningful, take a second to leave a 3 in the comments. Let me know you're still here with me, because just like lasting family ties, this conversation matters more when we know we're truly connecting. The story of Mary reveals a quiet yet powerful truth. There is a deep sense of fulfillment that can only come from a lifelong relationship. "I'm over 70 now," she says with a knowing smile, "and I still take my grandson to school on my electric scooter. I go to the market, cook meals, do the laundry, clean the house, and then I cook for my husband. He enjoys his retirement while I do all the work. Tiring? Sure. Worth it? Absolutely." There's a quiet pride in her voice that speaks volumes. Despite the physical exhaustion, what truly sustains her is not just the routinates, the emotional bond, and the rich history she shares with her husband. This connection, formed and nurtured over decades, gives her life a deep and personal sense of meaning. Having a life partner, especially one who has been with you through the ups and downs of a lifetime, offers a form of support that transcends physical help. It's the emotional security of knowing that someone who has seen you at your best and your worst is still walking beside you. Even if that partner is no longer as active, their presence alone is priceless. These are the kinds of relationships that time alone can build. For couples who marry later in life, companionship and shared interests are often present. But what is sometimes missing is the emotional depth that only years of shared experiences can create. Those who've journeyed together through decades of joy, struggle, compromise, and growth often develop a bond that is simply irreplaceable. Late-in-life partnerships may bring convenience, comfort, even affection, but they rarely carry the same weight of emotional intimacy as relationships forged early and nurtured over a lifetime. It's not that late partnerships are less valid, they serve a different purpose. But the unspoken language, the quiet understanding that exists between two people who have built an entire life together, cannot be quickly recreated. Mary's story reminds us of this distinction. It illustrates the unique value of relationships that have weathered life's storms and endured through change. There's a kind of pride and peace that comes from knowing you've built something lasting and meaningful with another human being, something that didn't come easy, but came real. In a world where relationships are often fleeting, hers is a testimony to the power of commitment, endurance, and shared history. Her fulfillment isn't born out of ease, but out of perseverance and loyalty. And that kind of satisfaction, that sense of purpose and pride, is something no shortcut can provide. So as you reflect on the relationships in your own life, whether you're in one, seeking one, or nurturing the ones you have, let Mary's quiet strength be a reminder that there is profound, enduring value in the bonds we build over time. That true connection isn't found in perfect circumstances, but in the imperfect journey you share with someone who chooses to walk beside you, year after year. In the end, it's not the ease of the relationship that brings meaning, it's the depth of the connection. And sometimes, the hardest earned love is the one that fulfills us the most. There's an old saying, husband and wife are like birds in the same forest. When disaster strikes, they fly in different directions. It's a stark reminder of how fragile even the strongest relationships can be. No matter how deeply rooted a couple may seem, personal interests and survival instincts can pull even the most devoted partners apart. This truth becomes even more apparent in later-in-life marriages unions, often formed out of need rather than passion. These relationships, while offering stability, often lack the emotional spark and shared history that define more enduring bonds. For many who've weathered a lifetime of romantic highs and lows, what they long for isn't intensity anymore, it's peace. They're seeking a safe harbor, not a firestorm. Take, for example, my neighbor Robert. He lost his first wife years ago and spent much of his life raising their daughter on his own. Friends and family urged him to remarry, believing he needed companionship and support in his senior years. Eventually, he agreed and was introduced through a mutual acquaintance to Helen, a woman with a son of her own. Within a month, they decided to get married. From the outside looking in, their relationship appeared rooted more in practicality than in emotional connection. It wasn't like his first marriage, which was built on love and a lifetime of shared experiences. This new relationship, while functional, lacked the same warmth and emotional satisfaction. Robert didn't laugh as much. He didn't seem as lighthearted. It was clear that while he had found a partner to help navigate the realities of aging, he hadn't found the joy that comes from deep emotional intimacy. His story is a sobering reminder. Later in life unions may serve a purpose, but they often come at the cost of the richness that only time and shared struggles can bring. Now, contrast that with the story of Maria, woman in her 70s, who continues to care for her husband with deep pride. She shops, cooks, cleans, runs errands, and looks after the grandchildren. Though physically demanding, her daily routine is infused with meaning. It's not just about duty, it's about love that has been nurtured over decades. The bond she shares with her husband was built on years of shared victories, disappointments, compromises, and growth. It's the kind of connection that can't be rushed or replicated. What they've built together offers more than convenience, offers a sense of emotional safety, mutual respect, and unshakable familiarity. While late-in-life marriages, like Robert and Helen's, may offer comfort and assistance, they often lack that deep emotional resonance. They tend to be more transactional in nature, focused on mutual support, shared responsibilities, and companionship, rather than the passionate and enduring love that grows from long-term connection. That's not to diminish their value. There's dignity in finding someone to share your later years with. But the emotional landscape of these relationships is often different. They're built for stability, not fire, for cooperation, not legacy. Mary's story, placed next to Robert's, draws a powerful contrast. It highlights the unique emotional treasure found in original, long-term partnerships. These bonds don't just offer company, they offer continuity, memory, and a sense of rootedness in an ever-changing world. As we reflect on the relationships in our lives, it's worth recognizing that while companionship can be found at any stage, the depth and richness that come from decades of shared life are truly irreplaceable. For those who have built that kind of connection, it is a legacy in itself, quiet, enduring, and deeply fulfilling. The story of Thomas, a man who remarried after losing his first wife, reflects a deeply human truth. While he now has a new partner by his side, something essential is missing, a kind of emotional richness that once filled his life but has quietly faded. His current relationship, though practical and supportive, can't replicate the deep satisfaction that came from years of shared history, laughter, and hardship. It leaves behind a quiet emptiness, a space that convenience and companionship alone cannot fill. Thomas's experience serves as a powerful reminder. While companionship holds undeniable value, there is something irreplaceable about the emotional bonds built over time. These bonds are not born overnight. They are forged through decades of living, growing, and weathering life's storms together. The quiet strength of a hand you've held through both triumph and tragedy cannot be replicated in a matter of months or even a few years. It is this depth, emotional weight of a life shared that gives a certain kind of happiness its true meaning. For those of us navigating relationships later in life, Thomas's story offers perspective. It encourages us to honor and nurture long-standing connections, recognizing that their value only deepens with time. These relationships are not just about shared space, but shared memory. They carry echoes of younger days, challenges overcome, and milestones celebrated. In them, we find not only comfort but continuity, a sense that our lives have been meaningfully intertwined with another's. Yet, while emotional connection is a cornerstone of fulfillment, there's another powerful source of purpose and vitality as we age: the pursuit of lifelong learning and curiosity. Imagine facing the rapid pace of today's world, not with hesitation or fear, but with confidence and clarity. Many older adults are doing exactly that, empowered by their willingness to keep learning, adapting, and exploring new skills and technologies. It's not just a dream, it's a reality made possible by a mindset of openness. Whether it's mastering a smartphone, joining an online class, exploring a new language, or diving into a long-postponed hobby, the decision to stay curious keeps the mind sharp and the spirit alive. This approach doesn't just prepare us to navigate modern life, it enriches it. Lifelong learning isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing growth and remaining engaged with the world. In a time when many feel they are expected to retreat into the background, those who continue to learn and adapt prove that aging is not about decline, it's about transformation. The sense of independence and confidence that comes from mastering something new is not only empowering, it gives renewed meaning to our days. People like Eleanor, a retired teacher who now mentors young professionals online, or Martin, who took up digital photography at 72, remind us what's possible when we choose growth over stagnation. Their stories highlight a quiet revolution, a shift in how we define aging. No longer confined to rest and retreat, the later chapters of life can be filled with exploration, discovery, and self-renewal. So, whether it's honoring the richness of long-term love or embracing the power of continued learning, these reflections speak to something essential: that fulfillment in later life comes not just from who we share our time with, but from how we choose to live it. With curiosity, courage, and connection, we can navigate each season of life with purpose and perhaps even a little joy. As we reflect on our own lives and the journeys of those we care about, embracing the principle of lifelong learning becomes more than just a noble ideal, it becomes essential. Staying curious, continually seeking out new knowledge and practical skills, allows us to remain active participants in an ever-changing world. This mindset doesn't just enhance our own sense of well-being, it also sets a powerful example for younger generations, showing them that growth and engagement don't have an expiration date. Reading, for example, has long been a gateway to personal development, a timeless truth that holds firm regardless of age. But in today's fast-moving society, many older adults find themselves struggling with basic tasks that once seemed simple. Something as routine as reading street signs or navigating a transit station can suddenly become a challenge. The reality is that our world is evolving, and the ability to keep pace mentally is what helps us retain our independence and confidence. This becomes especially true in the realm of technology. For many older adults, learning to use a smartphone to check the weather, look up directions, or pay a bill online can be nothing short of transformative. It's not about mastering complex academic subjects like astrophysics or cartography. Rather, it's about embracing the kind of knowledge that makes day-to-day living smoother and more empowering. Take Margaret, for example. In her early 70s, she didn't see the point of using the internet until she realized how much easier it was to schedule medical appointments and refill prescriptions online. Now, she logs in daily to manage her calendar, video chat with her grandchildren, and explore new hobbies she never had time for during her working years. She didn't become a tech expert overnight, but by staying open to learning, she gradually gained tools that made her life fuller and more connected. It's this mindset, the willingness to try, adapt, and explore, that enables us to thrive in the face of change. Instead of seeing technology as a barrier, older adults who embrace learning see it as a bridge, one that connects them to loved ones, services, information, and even joy. Rather than limiting a phone's use to casual conversation, many now turn to trusted websites to learn how to pay utility bills, manage appointments, or uncover new interests. These practical skills don't just improve efficiency, they restore a sense of agency. There is power in being able to say, "I've got this," whether it's booking a doctor's visit or navigating an unfamiliar city. In today's rapidly evolving world, adaptability and a willingness to learn are more crucial than ever. The capacity to understand and use modern tools allows older adults not only to keep up, but to lead vibrant, independent lives. The focus doesn't have to be on becoming a tech wizard. It's about acquiring practical knowledge that makes life easier, more manageable, and more satisfying. This quiet revolution in lifelong learning shows us that aging and independence aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, they can go hand in hand if we're willing to remain curious. By investing time in learning how to use everyday tools like secure online services or digital health platforms, older adults can reduce their reliance on others and increase their freedom. In the end, learning isn't something we outgrow, it's something that carries us forward. And for those willing to stay engaged, the rewards are not only practical but deeply personal: confidence, autonomy, and a renewed connection to the world around us. One of the most valuable lessons we can take from this reflection is the undeniable importance of continuous learning, especially when it comes to practical, everyday skills. It's never too late to embrace new technologies or modern methods that can simplify life and reinforce independence. Encouraging older loved ones to use their phones for more than just casual conversation can open the door to confidence, convenience, and empowerment in daily living. This mindset fosters not only independence, but also helps keep us engaged in a fast-changing world that can often feel overwhelming. By staying current with the tools and technologies around us, we maintain our place in a society that continues to evolve, sometimes faster than we'd like. But the willingness to learn doesn't fade with age. In fact, it becomes more essential than ever. Yet beyond the practicalities of technology lies another key to a vibrant later life: having a hobby. With a genuine interest or passion, life never feels dull. Have you ever wondered why some older adults seem so full of life, while others slowly retreat into silence? The answer often lies not in genetics or medical care, but in something far simpler and more joyful: actively engaging in something you love. Imagine discovering a way to not only add more years to your life, but also add more life to your years just by doing what brings you joy. Whether it's tending to a garden, painting a canvas, playing a musical instrument, or losing yourself in a good book, hobbies give us purpose. They provide joy, which in turn enhances overall quality of life as we age. Hobbies do more than pass the time; they nourish us. For older adults, they offer a way to stay mentally sharp and physically active, while also encouraging social interaction and emotional well-being. A hobby can be a lifeline, anchoring us to the things that make us feel alive, fulfilled, and connected to the world around us. Engaging in an activity that sparks happiness doesn't just help the mind, it supports the body. It eases stress, lifts the spirit, and contributes to better physical health. Studies continue to show the powerful connection between joyful engagement and longevity. When you lose yourself in something you love, you're not just filling hours, you're enriching your soul. For those in their later years, this is a powerful message. You don't need to conquer the world or learn a dozen new skills. You just need to stay curious and committed to what makes you smile. Whether you're trying out a new recipe, exploring photography, or picking up that novel you've been meaning to read, you're doing more than filling time, you're building a life full of meaning. Ultimately, this message reminds us that the key to a joyful and healthy older age is often found in life's simplest pleasures. By embracing hobbies and participating in activities that bring us joy, we're not merely enduring our later years, we're celebrating them. Each moment becomes richer, more colorful, and more intentional. So perhaps it's time to ask, what lights you up? What brings a sense of energy, even if just for a moment? Whatever your answer is, lean into it. Because the true secret to aging well isn't just living longer, it's living better. And sometimes, all it takes is rediscovering the quiet magic of doing something you truly love. At the age of 70 and beyond, engaging in high-intensity workouts may no longer be practical. Even dancing in the park, though joyful, might not feel suitable for everyone. For some older adults, sitting for extended periods can be equally uncomfortable, which makes activities like mahjong or other sedentary pastimes less ideal. That's why nurturing hobbies that bring meaning to everyday life becomes essential. But it's important to remember, one size does not fit all when it comes to leisure. The most fulfilling hobby is the one that aligns with your unique interests and physical capacity, whether it's chess, painting, singing, fishing, or simply something that brings you peace and contentment. Keeping a playful spirit in later life isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Many people, after retirement, find themselves feeling adrift. The energy and purpose once derived from a vibrant career may shift to roles centered around caregiving, like helping with grandchildren. While rewarding, this change can sometimes cause a slow erosion of enthusiasm for play or joy-filled activities once loved. There's also a lingering societal belief that with age comes a greater need for seriousness. But the truth is, allowing yourself to be joyful and lighthearted as you age may be one of the greatest gifts you can offer yourself. As we grow older, we earn the right to let go of the pressures we carried in youth. If we don't seize the chance to try what we once hesitated to explore, we may find ourselves filled with regret. Embracing playfulness isn't just fun, it's healing. Studies have shown that seniors who maintain a playful, lighthearted attitude tend to live longer. While aging brings inevitable physical decline, changes in social roles, and sometimes a decrease in our ability to care for ourselves, these transitions can challenge our resilience. Without mental engagement or emotional ease, it becomes easier to fall into patterns of discouragement that can worsen health and diminish confidence in life. Participating in playful activities, however, can help protect against that downward spiral. These activities don't just entertain, they actively strengthen the brain, keeping it flexible and responsive. They can even boost lung capacity and improve circulation, both vital to overall well-being. Group activities in particular offer something deeply important: companionship. They help foster a sense of anticipation and belonging, which can be a powerful remedy against the isolation that sometimes shadows the later years. And most importantly, staying playful and mentally engaged helps fight off loneliness, one of the quietest threats to well-being in older age. It's in these moments, sharing a laugh, learning a new game, or trying something out of the ordinary, that many seniors discover renewed energy and purpose. Longevity often has less to do with luck or medicine, and more to do with how we choose to live each day. Many older adults who thrive well into their later years have one common trait: they've found their own unique way to play. So, whether it's through gentle hobbies, lighthearted creativity, or social pastimes that bring you joy, never underestimate the power of play. It isn't about avoiding age, it's about embracing it with curiosity and delight. The opportunity to feel alive, connected, and engaged is always within reach. After all, growing older doesn't mean growing less joyful. It simply means finding new ways to keep joy alive. Take, for example, the legendary scientist Isaac Newton. Known for his groundbreaking contributions to physics and mathematics, he also found genuine delight in something as simple as blowing soap bubbles through a straw, captivated by their ever-changing colors. It's a beautiful reminder that even the most brilliant minds are drawn to the simple joys of life. Similarly, economist Eugene Younga, name less familiar to the mainstream, but no less insightful, proudly considered himself a master of play. He embraced modern hobbies like computer gaming, blogging, and puzzle solving with the enthusiasm of someone decades younger. There's an old saying, "A person without hobbies will struggle to connect with someone who has them." It may sound quaint, but there's wisdom in that sentiment. Hobbies in later life aren't merely a way to pass the time, they're a cornerstone of a life that feels rich, fulfilled, and deeply human. Seniors who pursue their interests often become the kind of people others want to be around. They bring perspective, joy, and a youthful energy to relationships, no matter their age. If you're still here watching this, and this message is striking a chord, drop a number 4 in the comments. It's a small way to let me know we're still on this journey together. In essence, embracing hobbies in older age isn't about distraction, it's about connection. It's about choosing joy even when life slows down. While physical and cognitive decline are part of the aging process, the confidence and pleasure found in doing something you truly enjoy can help counteract those effects. In fact, it can turn your later years into a time of renewal, growth, and deeper happiness. Whether it's classic pastimes like chess, painting, singing, and fishing, or modern-day interests like blogging or video games, these activities do far more than fill the hours. They sharpen the mind, uplift the spirit, and most importantly, provide a break from the loneliness that so often shadows old age. Consider again the stories of Newton and Young. Their lives illustrate something powerful and true. Remaining curious, open, and playful can directly contribute to a longer, richer life. Aging doesn't mean we must grow solemn or reserved. On the contrary, it's an opportunity to be as lighthearted and engaged as we've always wanted to be. There's no rule book that says we have to stop trying new things. In fact, it's often the willingness to say yes to new experiences that keeps the heart young and the mind vibrant. By nurturing a playful spirit and embracing activities that bring joy, older adults can discover new confidence and purpose. Each day becomes an opportunity for adventure and exploration, not in the grand sense, but in the deeply personal, meaningful one. This openness to life is what keeps us youthful. And it's this spirit that turns aging from something we fear into something we cherish. So, let's encourage one another to keep playing, keep discovering, and keep living our best lives, proving that age is just a number, and joy has no expiration date. Beyond hobbies and pastimes, there's another essential key to aging, well-keeping, an open heart. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to live well as we grow older? In a world that too often associates aging with rigidity, bitterness, or narrow-mindedness, there's an inspiring story that quietly challenges those assumptions. It's a story that highlights the power of openness, of accepting life's imperfections and approaching each day with calm and quiet grace. This perspective offers something rare and valuable. It invites people of all ages to reflect on how they approach life and relationships, but it's especially meaningful for those navigating the later chapters of their lives. Picture someone in their senior years, not bitter or closed off, but open and accepting. Imagine a person who, rather than resenting the success of others or criticizing younger generations, chooses to live with peace in their heart. They don't dwell on income, nor do they spend their time worrying about what tomorrow might bring. Instead, they live in the now, seeing each moment as a gift and believing that the present is, in fact, the best time of their lives. Let's call this person Margaret. Margaret is not defined by her age. She's not angry, not overly concerned about what she lacks, and she doesn't let envy or regret cloud her days. She embraces what is, accepts people as they are, and finds joy in simplicity. There's no need to compare, no craving for what others have. And in doing so, she radiates a rare kind of peace that makes others want to be near her. There's an old belief that aging shrinks not only the body, but also the mind and the spirit, that it hardens people into inflexible versions of their former selves. But when someone like Margaret resists those expectations and continues to approach life with openness and humility, it becomes a powerful, even beautiful act. That kind of heart is both uncommon and precious. She doesn't just tolerate imperfections, she welcomes them. She lives without the constant itch to change, fix, or acquire. Instead, she cultivates contentment, seeing beauty in the ordinary and wisdom in the quiet. This way of being offers a profound lesson for all of us, whether we're just starting out or already well along the path. It invites us to rethink what it truly means to age gracefully and with happiness. It reminds us that growing older doesn't mean closing off. It can, in fact, mean opening up even more. Keeping an open heart and mind doesn't erase the realities of aging, but it does offer a way to navigate them with dignity, joy, and peace. It's about letting go of unnecessary anxieties, embracing the present moment, and finding contentment in life's simple rhythms, the kind of daily experiences that, when fully appreciated, make life rich and meaningful. So, as we age, may we remember that it's not just about maintaining our hobbies or staying busy. It's about expanding our ability to accept, to love, and to be present. Aging well isn't measured by what we can still do, but by how we choose to show up each day with grace and an open heart. As we reflect on the journey of life, let this story be a quiet reminder to live with an open heart, welcoming each day with grace, acceptance, and joy. Whether you're just beginning to explore this mindset or have embraced it for years, there's timeless value in approaching life with openness, lightness, and gentle acceptance for what is. When we do, we allow ourselves to age not just gracefully, but with a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, where every day can feel like the best one yet. Take Helen, for example. She's not the kind of grandmother who lectures or laments. She listens. She adapts. She offers quiet strength without judgment. And in doing so, she creates an emotional environment where her children and grandchildren feel seen, supported, and understood. This type of communication and emotional presence becomes the foundation of lasting family bonds. It's not about control or correction. It's about connection. By offering empathy instead of complaints, encouragement instead of criticism, we nurture a home that feels safe, warm, and genuinely loving. Relationships, especially those with our children and grandchildren, don't require us to be perfect. What they need is presence. And that presence is best expressed through respect, patience, and emotional generosity. When we create space for others to grow without feeling judged, we help strengthen the invisible threads that hold families together. That kind of love is healing. It's sustaining. And in return, it brings immense joy and meaning into our own lives. Then there's the matter of how we spend our time. Engaging in hobbies and social activities doesn't just pass the hours, it enriches them. Whether it's gardening in the early morning sun, painting in the quiet of the afternoon, or simply laughing with friends over a shared meal, these moments give us purpose. They remind us that life, at any age, is meant to be lived fully. These activities don't just keep our minds active, they keep our spirits alive. And perhaps just as importantly, they help us combat loneliness, one of the most persistent challenges in later life. Margaret, a retired school teacher, finds joy in leading a small community book club. It's not just about reading, it's about being heard, being part of something, being connected. In every gathering, there's laughter, curiosity, and a sense of belonging, and that, more than anything, keeps her heart young. But perhaps the most powerful gift we can give ourselves as we age is a mindset that embraces life just as it is, a heart that doesn't constantly compare or crave what others have, a soul that lets go of resentment and welcomes each day with gratitude. When we accept the imperfections of others and of ourselves, we create space for peace to settle in. We stop chasing what's missing and start appreciating what's already here. This outlook doesn't erase the aches or the losses that come with time, but it softens them. It allows us to move through life with more ease. A content and thankful heart doesn't linger on the negative. It finds joy in the small, quiet wonders of the present, the laughter of a child, the scent of fresh coffee, a morning breeze. These details, once overlooked, become treasures. So yes, growing older changes us, but it doesn't have to diminish us. If anything, it can make us more open, more compassionate, and more alive than ever. With an open heart, we don't just flourish. At its core, the secret to a fulfilling and joyful life in our later years doesn't lie in grand gestures or luxurious lifestyles. It's found in the quiet, thoughtful choices we make each day. Choosing health over habit, simplicity over stress, connection over isolation. When we prioritize our well-being physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally, we lay the groundwork for a life filled with peace, joy, and meaning in our golden years. Take someone like Walter. He's not chasing the next big thing. He's tending to his garden, taking evening walks with his wife, keeping an eye on his budget, and making sure his mind stays sharp with crossword puzzles and lively conversations. His life may look simple from the outside, but it's rich with intention. Walter understands that the real magic of aging well lies in small daily commitments to health, clarity, and positivity. We've learned from people like Walter and others that maintaining physical health is foundational. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Regular checkups, balanced meals, daily movement, even a 20-minute walk can make a world of difference. Financial stability, too, brings a certain kind of calm that no luxury can replace. Knowing your needs are met and your future is protected frees up energy to enjoy the present. But physical and financial well-being aren't enough on their own. Mental and social activity are just as vital. Whether it's pursuing a favorite hobby, volunteering, joining a local community group, or simply reaching out to old friends, these are the threads that weave a life worth living. They keep our spirits vibrant and our hearts engaged. People like June, a retired librarian, spend time each week hosting poetry readings at her community center. It keeps me grounded, she says. It gives me purpose. A positive outlook is perhaps the most underrated gift we can give ourselves. It's not about denying life's hardships, it's about choosing not to be consumed by them. We can't control every event, but we can control how we respond. Gratitude, kindness, and perspective go a long way in turning ordinary days into meaningful ones. Throughout this series, we've touched on the importance of open communication, emotional support, personal interests, and maintaining a hopeful attitude as we age. These elements do more than enrich our own experience, they strengthen the bonds we have with our loved ones. By staying emotionally present, by listening more than we speak, and by sharing our wisdom rather than our worries, we become pillars in the lives of our children and grandchildren. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What stood out to you in these stories? Was there a moment that made you pause and reflect? Maybe something you'd like to start doing, or perhaps stop doing? Share one takeaway in the comments below. What's one small change you'll bring into your life from today? And if this message spoke to you, if it gave you clarity, comfort, or even just a smile, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means more than you know. It helps us continue sharing stories that celebrate the richness of life, especially in these later chapters. Thank you for watching and for being part of this journey with us. Aging isn't about fading away. It's about shining with wisdom, heart, and grace.